If you are scheduled to be one of the toasters, we're going to be doing the toast in about 2 or 3 minutes, so if you could please come forward now, we'll have everyone ready here for the toast.
And I haven't gotten the sister of the groom yet. I need to do that. Here's to you. Hello.
So my name is Jenna Kogel, and I've known Christy for just about as long as I can remember. The first memory actually that I have of her, I really didn't like her so much. And I don't know if it was just her dad and maybe Jamie, they came over to the house because my oldest sister Michaela and Jamie were friends, and it was one winter, and her dad brought their four-wheeler over, and we were doing like tube sleds down the driveway, and I didn't know this, she was a tomboy, you know. Well, she wasn't quite obsessed with Shaquille O'Neal at that point in time, but that did work its way through in the next couple years. But from there on out, I think we kind of established a friendship, just especially with our sisters being friends. So we spent many summers together, playing down at the river or at the pool at my house, and I don't know where's Jay? Jay's gonna want to plug his ears for this one. Christy, on an occasion, riding with her on her three-wheeler in their field, and she runs over my leg, and she's just like, oh, it's cool, not a problem. And I'm thinking, okay, you just ran over my leg. She just said, just don't tell my dad, because he would have freaked out. So between that and her driving crazy in the Big Ten when we were in high school, we've had a few memories. I don't really recall if Chris and I have ever had any bad times. It's just all been good and fun until today and I just want to thank everybody who was trying to help me get into this dress. It's painted on me because it took about 5 or 6 different people to help get this thing zipped up, and the look on Christy's face was priceless. She's like, Jenna, you what? You can't get your dress on? I was pretty much going to ruin the day for her, so she wasn't sure what she was going to do without her maid of honor not being able to fit into the dress, but thank you everybody who helped me get there. So big round of applause. So that's a little bit of the history up till now. Lots of good times, lots of good memories. I met Chris though about a year ago, and she was really excited to introduce him to her family and friends, and I got to meet him, and Christy was just, it was a different look on Christy's face. You know, it was, I don't think she really knew what to do, but she was just really happy, and she was just really excited for her to meet this new guy in her life. And so I had a really nice time over this last year getting to know you, and I just want to wish you guys the best of luck, even though you guys don't need it. But to Christy and Chris, and may the next 50 years hold all the joys and memories that everybody wishes.
My name is Joel. I'm Chris's brother. I definitely do remember some of the bad times. Chris and I were not the closest of friends while growing up. We had our moments, but I would say it did eventually come around. It took about 25 years, and ironically for me, moving out of the state, for Chris and I to become friends. Now, I'm not recommending that for either of you two, or somebody to move out of the state, but I do want to encourage you guys to remember the parts of the vows that you guys took today, dealing with friendship, and maintaining that friendship and fostering that friendship, because that's what you'll need to get through everything, the rough patches. And so I wish you the best of luck. I look forward to creating a friendship with you and Christy, and having you into our family. To Chris and Christy, congratulations.
Here, here.
All right. For those of you, the teacher quiet.
First off, those of you who were at my wedding have noticed that Mom has limited mic time 7-minute speech she gave. Today marks the day that the last Lemon sister is married. So Mom and Dad, now that you have married off and paid for your last daughter's wedding, you can start saving for retirement or go on a nice vacation. Christy, I remember, look at me, she's like that. Christy, I remember the day that Mom and Dad brought you home from the hospital. Jamie and I fought over who was going to be the first one to hold you. I was so excited that I got to hold you first. I also remember Mom telling us someday you were going to get into our stuff and we were going to be annoyed with you. But at that moment in time, Jamie and I were in love with our new little sister. Like when From that moment on, I was always a little protective of you. After all, that was my job as your oldest sister. Like when I used to have to comfort you when Mom would go on evening walks because you thought Mom was going to get eaten by a dog and never come back. Christy and I have always had a special relationship. She would write me sweet notes when I was away at college, and later on we ended up living together for several years. When we lived together, we had several conversations about future husbands and what our grown-up lives might look like. I knew that when it came time for Christy to meet and find her future husband, her older sister was going to have to approve of Chris. Chris, you're the person who completes Christy. When Christy started dating you, I knew you were the guy for her. I've never seen Christy this happy before, and we're so excited to have you a part of the family. Plus, Randy was getting a little too comfortable being my only brother-in-law for the past 10 years. I can't wait to see what the future has in store for the two of you. Just seeing you both around my son and your nieces, I know that you both will be great parents someday. One little piece of advice to remember is that a great marriage isn't something that just happens, it's something that must be created. To Christy and Chris.